I'm Oscar Jones. I'm originally from Stockport, studying mechanical engineering at Sheffield. I've just completed my bachelor's degree. I like the versatility that it brings. So people, think of engineering, they just think of planes and cars and things like that. But actually the skills that you develop, it's much broader than that, and you can do so much with it. I think I most enjoyed my final year project, definitely. I think it gives you the freedom to apply everything that you've learned across the course into something you're actually interested in. And you get to pick, which isn't something that you get to do too much early on in the course, and you do more in final year. So that final year project really is almost the culmination of everything you've been working towards. So for my final year project, I was tasked with wildlife protection. So initially with wildlife protection, I had to find an area to identify to tackle. Invasive species are a massive problem globally and in the UK, and cost governments a lot of money and cause a lot of harm to the native ecosystems. One particular species invasive in UK waterways is the Chinese Mitten Crab. This is a burrowing crab species that causes a lot of harm to the structural integrity of rivers by burrowing into the banks, causing them to collapse, increasing flood risk and damaging waterside structures. They're also an opportunistic feeder and predate on many animals and plant species, some of which are endangered. For my project, I aim to develop a control method to manage the population of Chinese mitten crabs in UK waterways. So as part of my project, I contacted experts in the field of Chinese mitten crabs, one of whom, Dr. Jonas Scholnek from the University of Antwerp in Belgium. He's studied Chinese mitten crabs a lot. He also wrote a paper about a trap trial for a permanent trap to catch Chinese mitten crabs in the Klein Net River in Belgium. So I flew out to Belgium, to Antwerp, and met with him and went to the trap site. I was able to learn a lot about the trap, how it works, potential areas to improve the trap as well, and also how it could be adapted to UK waterways. So the people I've been working with on the project in the UK, so firstly Dr. Paul Clark from the Natural History Museum. He's written a lot of papers about Chinese mitten crabs. He's definitely an expert in the field, and he's been really helpful to the project. I've worked with the Welland and Deepings Internal Drainage Board. So the Internal Drainage Board is a collection of organisations that are basically responsible for flood management in the areas. I've also worked with the Lincolnshire Wildlife Trust. The site located for the trap is in Lincolnshire, so it is governed by the Lincolnshire Wildlife Trust, which is a charitable organisation, and they've helped a lot with the project, photos, measurements and things like that. So now the project is finished and a final design for a permanent trap for Chinese mitten crabs has been made. This trap will hopefully be manufactured and installed across this summer, and then the results of it can be monitored and assessed, and the performance of the trap can be reviewed, and the trap design should improve each time and become more and more efficient. And then hopefully in a few years' time there'll be traps all across the UK, and the Chinese mitten crab population can be controlled and the native ecosystem can be protected. So the mechanical engineering course at Sheffield University helped prepare me for the final year project because it taught me key problem solving skills that are necessary for a real life engineering project. So it's not only the fundamental maths that you need to know, but how to think like an engineer is a massive part of a real life project, and the course has taught me that. What I learned from this project is how to go with the flow and adapt and be versatile to fit the needs of everyone involved in a project. Because an engineering project is a team effort, it's not an individual job. So you have to be able to use your skills and match that with other people's skills and sort of combine everyone's needs together to ensure that you all work together for a good outcome and come up with a really good piece of work. So I've really enjoyed my final year project, and I also think that the work is really important because invasive species are a real key issue, not only the Chinese mitten crab. So I'd love to be able to continue my work on the Chinese mitten crab and then hopefully into the future invasive species as a whole, whether that'll be through further courses such as a master's or just employment, I'm not sure, but I would really like to carry on working in this field. So I've always been interested in nature. I like watching nature documentaries in my spare time. I love learning about animals. So it just sort of felt natural for me to apply the skills that I've learned in the course into something I'm really passionate about. Because engineering isn't just things like planes, cars. Engineering is everything. If there's a problem that needs to be solved, you need an engineer to solve it. Wildlife needs a lot of protecting this time, so I'm really glad to use my skills that I've learned at my time at Sheffield and apply that to an issue that I'm passionate about and enjoy.